Hi everyone, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Wayland Police Department. My name is Ed Burman, I'm the acting chief. And we're going to start off first. I'm going to have Officer Sloan start off.
Welcome everybody. So a land acknowledgement. This is from the Historical Society. It was put together between them, the library, and the First Parish Church. This was done back in November 2021, so we're just going to incorporate it today. Today, as we begin, we would like to acknowledge the following Indigenous peoples on whose traditional homelands we live, work, and gather. The Massachusetts, the Nipmuc, the Wampanoag, and the Pawtucket. We acknowledge their ancestors, particularly Carto of the Massachusetts tribe, who was steward of much of the land now encompassing Sudbury and Wayland when European settlers arrived to colonize this place in 1638.
So I'm going to be reading a quote from Don Blake, who's a retired Metropolitan District of Columbia police officer, on the symbol of a badge. A law enforcement badge is more than a sign of rank, position, location, job, or duty. A well cared for and properly presented badge is a sign of pride, honor, respect, and a symbol of safety. It should always instill a feeling of comfort to civilians in times of stress, and the bearer should always understand the significance their insignia may have on others. A proudly displayed badge is a sign of trust and sacrifice, and it can motivate both those that see it worn and those who wear it to do good.
So the idea of designing a new badge came with a lot of research and collaborative efforts with the Wayland Historical Society, the Wayland Archaeologists, and Nipmuc Nation Hassanamisco Band of Nipmucs. Through our efforts to honor not only law enforcement, the original peoples, and Wayland's rich heritage and culture, we decided to customize a badge that is inclusive to Wayland's values. We reached out to a citizen of Nipmuc Nation, and we were connected to Love Richardson. Love is an enrolled citizen of the Hassanamisco Band of Nipmucs and a tribal council member who shares responsibility as a contact of the tribal council's public relations. Through speaking with her, she was able to explain the history of the Nipmuc Indian to our area and provide us with the proper representation to be displayed on our badge. She shared how important it is to remain sovereign and establish working relationships with municipalities throughout the Commonwealth and beyond. She mentions that it is an honor for Nipmucs to be recognized in such a way and be seen. All too often, we are not seen, thought of as extinct or mystical. The representation is powerful and it feels good to be involved, she said. She adds that we as Indigenous people recognize the efforts of the Wayland Police Department and look forward to fostering our relationship. As allies to the Indigenous people, we of the Commonwealth receive this honor to be a part of the Wayland Police Department's redesign. Community and culture are a part of who we are. They are important to the traditional beliefs of the Nipmuc people, much like the land and fresh water. Establishing this new relationship with the Wayland Police Department restores balance, gives life to continue the hard work of inclusion, and highlights equity within the police force in town of Wayland. On July 31st, 2022, the Nipmuc Nation Hassanamisco Band held their annual powwow in Grafton, Mass. At the Tribal Council government offices. During the event, I, who was involved in the development of the badge, presented a mock-up photograph to the Nipmuc people who were present, but more specifically, the tribal chair, Tina Richardson, Vice Chair Candia Flynn, Councilor Justin Wilson, and Love Richardson, and the citizens during the powwow at the public ceremony. Johnny Black Wolf Walker, Chief of the, I'm going to try here, Anawiak, there you go, Nipmuc Indian tribe, was present and walked out to view the mock-up and gave his blessing. Also, when you look at the badge, you're going to see the image of the depot and the Old Town Bridge. The depot was built in 1881 and is one of the few that remains on the old Massachusetts Central line. The depot provided daily travel to Boston and extended to Northampton. The building today is used as a nonprofit consignment craft shop. And one unique fact that I found was that is recognized by the Massachusetts Historical Society is that Wayland has one of the most complete collections of railroad buildings and foundations in Massachusetts. You'll also see that the Old Town Bridge, which is at the top, was built in 1848, and it still stands today over the Sudbury River next to the Wayland Country Club. This bridge was used to get to and from Sudbury, and oral tradition has it that Loker led a cavalry over the bridge, and along with Minuteman and farmers. So it was a very well-traveled bridge for all.
Thank you. My name is Maria Turner. I'm the chairwoman for the Native Nipmuc Band. First off, I just wanted to say that it appears that, I want to thank you for being so open, and seems like you're involved a lot with the community so that we can at least work together, be together. Since Hassanamisco, who was Nipmuc back in the 1600s, and Cato, who was Massachusetts, had already had a bond with the people. Back then it was Sudbury Plantation, but it was also, and Wayland came after, but it was all known as a Sudbury Plantation at that time. It seems like we have been interacting with our relatives and ancestors for hundreds and hundreds of years. And it's good to see that we are coming with the municipalities at this point in time to work together, to bond together, band together, so that we can live together in a community. I kind of read up a little bit on your community policing, and I just wanted to kind of mention a couple of things about it that I found interesting. That that the Wayland Police Department has your own statement of core values: integrity, professionalism, fairness, and impartiality. And I just want to read that one. And that the police act in fairness, restraint, and impartiality in carrying out your duties. You work together with the community, and community understands and overcome cultural influences and unconscious biases. We underestimated that your actions combined with the way that you treat members of the community contribute to your legitimacy in the eyes of the public. How wonderful that is that we have a community group that sits down and works together to make a better community for yourself and to keep people safe in your community. And the last, of course, advocacy and sympathy. Such beautiful roles for a community to have, and people that are working together. I just want to thank you. We come from, 10 miles away maybe, dated. We have been there for hundreds and hundreds of years. Many of our people have moved on to the Boston, Massachusetts area, mainly because of the Deer Island, where some of our ancestors were put on Deer Island, and came back and their farms had been taken from them, so they moved on. I currently work for the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe for the Indian Child Welfare Act, which is similar to what you're doing, but I'm trying to keep families safe and children safe from abuse and neglect. So I thank you for everything that you're doing here, and thank you for taking the stand to be the first to make a change. Thank you.
Wikwasan, everyone. Welcome and thank you. And thank you for allowing us to be here today in this good way. My name is Love Richardson. I am the daughter of Chief Buster Richardson and the great-granddaughter of George Wilson, who is also a Nipmuc chief. So I am honored to be here today, and I thank you all for this prestigious relationship, this commitment to unity, this compact that will be developed, and I am truly honored today to be here. I actually flew in from Oregon yesterday and to receive this honor on behalf of the nation. So I am here as a tribal council member for the Nipmuc Nation of the Hassanamisco Nipmucs. And I also wanted to acknowledge the 5 bands of our nation, and that would be the Native Nipmuc tribe, the Wabuquasit band, the Chabuca Gunamug band, and also the Missinoak band. So we all thank you, and we are all of the Nipmuc Nation. This relationship with the municipality and the tribe is the first that I'm aware of ever to have happened. All too often, Indigenous people are overlooked with the state seal, with imagery, with representation. Too often we are seen as savages, people who are warriors, people who are in strife, or the desolate Indians. So today, we are honored as proud Indigenous people, as proud Indian people of the Nipmuc Nation to be here and to receive this badge and to be able to do the great work that we have done. With that, we also have peacekeepers, and that is our form of an officer, to uphold the values of our people, our nation, our land, and our fresh water. So we thank you for that. Lastly, I wanted to point out a couple of actions, which is so important to have this relationship with municipalities and the police force. And that being the Indian Child Welfare Act. All too often, officers are asked to come to our homes and to take our children along with social workers. And to have that understanding, that cultural competency, that understanding of what it means for an Indigenous people to have your child ripped from you is very important. So today, I was able to talk to the chief here about that and what that feels like. We talked about missing murdered Indigenous women. We have the highest rate of missing, murdered, and raped women in the whole entire United States and in Canada. We also have hunting and fishing rights that are often taken advantage of. So our hunting and fishing rights, even though we are a sovereign nation, we are often stopped when we are trying to provide sustenance for our people. So with this relationship, I hope that we can meet and we can talk about this in a cultural way, so that way the competency is throughout the Wayland Police Department. So I thank you for this time. I thank you for this honor, and I say to you all, Akuni, and thank you.
I'm going to ask Love to pin the first Wayland badge onto Officer Sloan.
Did you stick her yet?
We've also, in honor of Nipmuc Nation, we actually created a badge for Nipmuc Nation to bring back for their people. And Lynette and I will pin that on Love together. Okay.
So I will be smudging Officer Sloan and the badge and her walk as an officer and this new relationship with the Nipmuc people. Woo.